Hey guys, BenKyo here, and today I've got something a little different. I'm going to be playing on Tygem here, commenting as I play on this 4Q account, and we're going to see how close we can get to 9Dan with this thing. So yeah, let's go for it. So my opponent has taken these 2, 3, 4 points, and I've taken the other ones, and then he kicked my stone, so of course I extended up. He extended away, so now I'm going to settle my group. In this case, I have some forcing moves around here, especially with it being kind of distant. So I'm actually gonna play like an extra far extension and basically build like a mini, like a Chinese formation on this side. It's a little bit too far normally, but you know, it'll be a fight and should be okay for me. So white enclosed this corner, so now the value of this side is bigger, because if white were to extend around here, then white could make sort of like a box formation here eventually. So that's pretty much what happens when there's a corner enclosure. The adjacent side gets more valuable. However, this side's pretty big too. So I think I'll just play on the side here somewhere and develop my own formation. So let's just take the start point. Keep it simple. How you guys doing today? Feels winter, man, at least here in Toronto. Haven't been getting out too much because of COVID, so every time I really get a lot of fresh air here and there, it's a big difference each time. Hot one day, cold the next. So he doesn't have much space on this side because of the pincer, so I'm just going to take the corner here. Playing another move here and doubling up on your pincer would be inefficient. You could play low here, but playing high will increase the pressure a bit. And he's jumping, so I'm just going to keep defending the side here, get some territory and defend sort of the open skirt on this side. And I just gotta choose where. So this is like a patient way to attack too, because white's a little bit weak still, but you can't really try to kill this or anything yet. So just patiently go along. I usually choose the fourth line, but of course, you know, in this case, I don't know, because this might be really annoying and really double purposed for white. If white were to go here, if I don't play anything, how would I respond? I don't really have too many good responses there. I could play low as well. It's one of these two, or it's doing some exchanges against this corner first, then playing over there. I think I might go for that. It's a more active way to play, try to get both things. Yeah, so maybe this one. Let's do it. This is the recent move that AI likes to play. The idea here is let white solidify the corner, but try to get something on the outside, but do it in sente, hopefully. You don't really need too great of a result here, but you're just developing something so it can complement whatever you play here next. One of the usual moves here is to cut and see what happens there. Usually white ends up having to like play extra moves after you cut, and it's good timing to cut around now. White pushes, then you just jump out and white plays here, and you can just play another move to defend your cut. And still, eventually white needs to deal with this. And another move is pushing and playing Hane, letting him take some here, and but you know, we don't have that much potential over here, I feel like. This is low, but still I don't want to give white too much territory. It's not like this is a big multi-dimensional moyo over here. It's just one side. So I think we'll start with a cut and see how things go. But yeah, you don't want to attack this kind of weak group too aggressively at first. All right, so white just played this normal way. Let's just see what he does here. If he were to block on that side, then this block would be sente. So of course he plays here. But just kind of intuitively, I'm feeling like in this case, it might not be the best to do these pushes. It does help with attacking this though. I said earlier that doubling up on your pincer is inefficient, but of course, as we go into the middle game, and if this move becomes multi-purpose, like attacking, it could change. So this might be a good move in a little while. The question is, if I play here and he just does like invasion, it's could be a little tricky to respond. So yeah, maybe I'll try this. It's hard to really learn anyway until you've played with things yourself. That's kind of my philosophy with joseki too, is like, if you really want to learn it, play it in a real game. If I block here, then we could get into a ladder, which favors black. He probably wouldn't do that, but he might follow up with now just playing this hane and considering maybe to double hane, and also he might peep instead of cutting. But I do have forcing moves around here thanks to these stones. So I'm actually quite tempted to hane here. But maybe this is the better move. Well, you know, I can learn more about that after, so let's just play the hane. So I have fewer liberties with these stones now, so this hane is a little stronger now. Anyway, let's see. This isn't going to be too bad, I think. I might get this area, and also I'm gaining some ability to attack this group little by little. So let's Atari here. And then, now if I extend here, there's a chance he might immediately come for some shape attack before he deals with this part. So like if I extend, what happens if he plays here, for example? Probably not too much. I can play Tiger's Mouth. If he cuts, then I would have to go here to prevent snapback. But he would still have to move out and I could jump. So let's just extend. I think it's okay for now. But I do need to fix my shape probably when I get the chance. Especially if I want territory here anyway. Okay. Since he Atari'd here and didn't extend it like this, I can take advantage of this Atari. Slightly beneficial for me. There really isn't too much potential here, so I'm not worried about that. I'm just gonna let him have this for now. So it feels like I owe a move here. But like if I play something like this or here, I do have to consider the fact that when he plays some kind of shape attack here, or even just clamps here, if he clamps here, I have to let him connect under, because if I try to block it, this cut just works. Especially with the shortage of liberties here. So there isn't going to be much territory here yet. On the other hand, if I just defend it directly, is that too slow? Luckily though, if I do defend around here, it makes it hard for him to start a fight in this area here. So yeah, maybe I'll just play one of these. Let's go here. This one's more territory than this one because of what would happen with the hane on the first line. And the clamp could be a potential move as well if I played here. If white was gonna build some kind of group and live here or run away, starting with a clamp. And then here, and then maybe hane or jump. Yeah, I think this is okay, this move. The real question is how was the trade, right? But okay, white's making another weak group, so this is a chance for me to, first of all, make sure that these two groups don't connect with each other. That would be the worst for me. And get some kind of attack, because I have quite a good backdrop for attacking over here. And also this stone doesn't have much space. So first of all, probably need to prevent the connection. One efficient way to do that here, since none of these moves look too attractive, I could go here. This does also prevent the connection. And then if white jumps out, this jump also sets me up for jumping out more quickly. And of course I could kick here. White would stand up like this with an iron pillar, and I would need to jump out. That looks good too. White's probably not strong enough here just yet to come all the way around here, and if he does, then I can try to cut it apart. So yeah, it's gonna be one of these two. I'm gonna go with this one. I don't know which one was better, but if I just kick and jump, in the future, this group still has space this way to make eyes. So I wanted to be a little bit more harsh against this group. So I'm going to respawn calmly around the corner here because I'm happy to get that, and white's not fully alive yet. But I'm thinking, like, should I do a peep? Because if white starts running this way, which improves the safety of this group, but also attacks me, then, you know, it would have been nice if I had a peep here and made it a little bit hard for white to run, just getting in the way a little bit. So the only thing I'm really thinking about here is, does white have a way to counterattack? So like if I peep, maybe white, I think it's probably best for white to just connect. Okay. Now, I don't want to miss out on this. I don't want to screw up the timing. So I was looking at this, but this might be a bit too solid actually. But if you play a move like this, then there's the potential of white doing something like attaching here and crosscut. Doesn't look like that's working too well yet though, actually. So this is probably fine. But then direction-wise, maybe this makes more sense because I'm a little bit weak here. It seems like this is better direction. And it also seems like maybe it's a better time to just... I'm just gonna calmly play here. Make sure I get lots of profit there. These two are still under attack, and probably white's gonna move out this way. And that creates the impetus for me to run as I kind of wanted to now, around here. Yeah, seems about right. And white can't really break through here. I think white's locked in. So this is not a bad idea for trying to make eye shape a little bit. What about this group? What happens if I start closing this off? Maybe even just here. I think white's in quite a bit of danger. Maybe, yeah. Do I just let the corner get destroyed and try to kill this? Let's just keep it calm, actually. I mean, this is a 4Q game. I don't really need to go too extreme, although this 4Q is playing pretty well, I must say. He does have, you know, a couple of weak groups right now, and black seems ahead, but, you know, nothing too bad so far at all. This is a little slow, but I think he's really afraid for this group. I don't really have to fix this cut at the moment, because if white cuts, I can Atari down and just play here, and I'm going to win the capturing race there. White can clamp, but that's fine. I just let him connect under. White can peep, but that's fine. Even if I just connect here, this was already kind of invadable before anyway, so this group is relatively settled for now, so it's better to focus on this group now. And I think I want to focus on the side first. This is where the stone here is weak. What happens though if white attaches to this stone? Might be able to hane here after. So I've been looking at this a little bit. This might be a good attack move as well. Let's play here because it also helps my weak group a little bit. And it actually indirectly helps this stone a little bit. It's not like I cared too much if white captured that stone, but I feel like I could get a pretty severe attack here, so I'm trying not to let white have too many extremely easy ways to make eyes. So now I can just play here, because it's not like white's getting eyes around here or getting out. Yep. So maybe I Atari here. In this case, because there's stones surrounding everything, strengthening white with this Atari doesn't really do me too much harm. It creates this Atari cut here, but that doesn't seem too severe at the moment. If I just extend, which is what I normally would like to do here, white could see how I respond to a push first, and then hane out, or maybe Atari this. None of these really matter, but I want to reduce white's options and maybe capture this group because it's actually in a really, really dangerous situation right now. Yeah. Let's just Atari, keep it, you know, straightforward. White can do some cutting around here, but should be fine. I just have to run away. So yeah, I'm going to make sure white can't connect. So if I jump here, I have to think about what happens if white peeps here. I would have to connect, white would push, I would block, white would cut one of these two sides. If white cuts this side and then cuts this side and then extends, if I capture that stone, that means I can then Atari here and capture these. So that wouldn't work for white. The other idea is here, but the problem with this, white could peep here first and then actually connect under, because that stone has only 3 liberties left when I play it. Let's go with this one. See, I wasn't really like wanting to capture this group earlier in the game, right? It just built up like this naturally. I got the position here, and then white made a second weak group. I just calmly made my corner here. White moves out, so I move out with this one. And eventually this group just ends up in this situation. Okay, so probably I'm blocking directly here. But it's always worth considering some other options like jumping here. But in this case, if I do that, white pushes and peeps and cuts and gets that stone. So this makes sense. White's probably going to try to Atari here, and I'll just have to run out this way. So that's fine. There's some attach and cross cut funny business white can try here. But even if white got a free Atari over here at the end, it's not like there's much space here for white to make eyes. I'm short on liberties here and here, so I should also extend the liberties of this one. If you play a hane in a situation like this, not only are you setting up for potential double Atari issues, but in this case, white would be getting a free hane after that because that would actually be setting up double Atari, and then could play Tiger's Mouth, and that's how you start giving your opponent shape and they live. It's better to give them as few forcing moves as possible by just, you know, playing the Nobi. And one more thing, I'm not really trying to kill white because in the current position, I don't really need to kill white. white's only real territory is this part here, and black has a lot of potential everywhere. So I'm gonna be going pretty casual about this instead of some more hardcore moves. Like just now, instead of Hane, I could have just descended and not worried about my connection here, but anyway. Now, if I don't want this move, white move to be kind of sente, then instead of going here, I could connect here. But then white could push and play here, and this would be sente. So let's just keep it simple, I guess. So let's just say white lives here then, right? Black has this big area here, which is more than white's bottom. If white gets the whole bottom, then at least it would be comparable. And this is almost nothing here, so that leaves black with all of this potential here, plus whatever I get from the wall in the center. So even with Komi, black is pretty far ahead right now. This move doesn't really try to make eyes, so that's interesting. But let's just respond, keep it simple. Maybe I would play a little more aggressively when we get to, 6 dan, 7 dan, but maybe, maybe even 3 or 5 dan, but for now, I don't want to go around trying to kill everything. So white has one eye for sure here now, one potential eye here, and also maybe on the top, so I might as well just take some territory with a forcing move. And yeah. So white has a forcing move here, which would make sure, definitely sure that that's an eye here. This is really... Alright, I'll play here because of the time countdown. But white can probably bump here. And it threatens to connect with a clamp. So I think white can make another eye. Oh, but I can take away white's eye by playing here. And then Atari. So, okay. When you're in a situation like this where it looks like your opponent died really big, it's okay to add another move. Because like the game's basically over now with this group being captured. So we can just defend against this cut now. I'm gonna peep here because I have stones here. So the wall, the strength that white gets on this side after the peep doesn't really do anything. So it's a good time to peep, help this a little bit. And I'm gonna defend here because there is some potential for cutting and running out by white. So now it's just really about, turning the win into an actual win. If white plays here, actually white can still make the eye, so... Yeah. And that's also sente to live again with this because of this move. So that's pretty much that. I wasn't very careful with the way that I finished off the kill here, but yeah, nothing too much happening here. White can cut here and force me to connect, or not, but nothing was going to happen from it anyways. So let's just connect, keep things simple. Don't let the cut over here, which threatens the double Atari here, don't let this cut activate in the future by this group being cut off, in sente no less, with this move, because that threatens a snapback. So I'm guessing white's going to resign soon once they see what happens, once they acknowledge the destruction. Not really sente, but okay, so yeah. Reducing this, building this. I think it's a good time to help this group actually. Especially after white played this move. Pretty important to reinforce this. This extension was kind of too far anyway to begin with. Yeah, so that's threatening double Atari. And so just connect. And it's threatening to cut. It's not really perfectly sente, but it's sente enough. I can defend indirectly though by attacking a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna come this way so that I can have more chance to reduce this soon. A little more assistance. If white tries to cut now, I can just capture the whole thing. So yeah, I'm kind of milking it a bit before I actually respond. Push, push. And yeah, I'll just respond there. So white's looking at this peep later. That's fine. It doesn't work yet because white needs to save these. This one. Oh, that's a pretty good idea actually. But this wedge will take care of both the issues because now white still can't activate this right now. So I'm connected here. Now I just need to make sure that this is connected. But it actually is because I could just give white this stone and that would also solve things. But then this group's not alive yet, so why don't I just come out here? Neither of these two white groups are alive, so it makes sense for me to come out here. Yeah, so white knows that there's a forcing move of sorts here, and therefore these two become Miai. That's fine. White's gonna go here, and I will ignore that, I guess. Basically, what's going on here is this group here is now cut, and I just have to run away with that. This group here will get connected to either one, so it doesn't really matter. And yeah, even just here now, I think should be fine. But I'm gonna keep going this way. just because it might help solidify this area and also this area a little better. This might turn out to be a slight thank you move on my part, helping white maybe, but at this point it doesn't really matter. This is more about like solidifying the victory. And there is some gain for black here, so. I'm pretty much connected now anyway, so actually it's fine if I don't add moves here yet. I can just pester white a bit here. This is all connected, so I have nothing to fear for this group on this side. I'm just attacking this one while I also threaten this territory. I have a nice peep waiting here. And if white plays anything around here, even if I can move in a bit further, I think what I'll do instead is start reinforcing this part. Normally white should have resigned already, but yeah. So if I peep and white pushes and cuts to resist, yeah, I don't really need to peep actually. Just keep things ultra simple. This is kind of helping white connect. You could be a bit more forceful, like a bit more aggressive than this and look for a way to cut through. But it's fine. I'm just going to finish off the shape over here with one of these. Be this one. It's one of those two, I think. That's fine. You know, I almost forgot that this white group is like not alive. That's funny. And that's actually how, like, I think a lot of you may have experienced this, which is, oh, well, time Suji for now. Like when you're winning too much, you let your guard down. I'm just thinking, like, is white dead? White can get one eye between here and here, but this is a Gote eye. Hmm. So if I connect, white has a Gote eye here. White could play here. Oh, that's actually a sente eye though. I think that's a sente. I'm gonna let white take that actually. That's fine. Okay, so now to wrap up the game. Maybe there's something I can do around here, but yeah, just play normal endgame moves, I guess. The second line around here is going to be really big right about now. I don't really need to play anything here right now, so what happens if I... not really. Yeah, that is actually sente. True, true. Because white could play here, and when I block, white could make an eye here. Yep.
A few moments later.
Yeah, so nothing's really happening here.
2 hours later.
I can actually peep here. White would have to connect, and then if I threaten to connect under and white stops me, then I can just cut here. And 3 liberties against 2 liberties. So basically it's going to go black, white, black. White's going to connect, and I'm going to connect under. So there aren't any points here yet. It's going to be a little better than playing just a normal endgame move. Although this Hane and connect is kind of big enough even without that, but yeah.
1 eternity later.
And he finally resigned. So I hope you guys like that. Let me know in the comment section below. I've started streaming again on Twitch, so you can follow me there at twitch.tv/BenKyo361 for some Go and other games. If you'd like to support me, you can do so by liking, subscribing, and maybe sharing the video. I'm accepting topic requests, so fire away. And see you guys next time. BenKyo out.